really, really nice last pick here for Spirit.
It is, and it's why they wanted to maintain that flexibility for as long as possible, right? It's not always just about what's good in this draft in particular. You have to understand how teams are going to be drafting around you in the tournament. And if we've shown the capability of playing this Primal Beast mid and off lane, they're going to have to respect that. So you could see with all the bans that Aster did towards the end of the draft, it was all around that those things that would be able to fulfill both roles. They weren't 100% convinced. It's a good last overall pick, but I think it's still a pretty damn good Razor game as well for me.
Yeah, and that's the question. If the Razor BKB timing is going to be enough for them to get a really big net worth lead, because this is a lineup still that I feel like is a question how you can scale into the late game. I feel like Brood's going to fall off in effectiveness a little bit, and with the matchup as well. Sure, Razor against the Troll is nice, but then you're going to have to deal with this late game Puck being able to kite you through BKB. So I think this is a very, very big opening for Aster to take this game throughout the mid game, but I do also think Spirit have a really big advantage off the back of the lanes. I really like their lane setups.
Yeah, I like their lanes too, and just so everyone remembers the context and the stakes here, has to win one game, they're into the upper bracket, and Team Spirit, they need the 2-0 to guarantee their spot for themselves as well. Very tense, you want to be able to get that win on the board, especially if you're Aster, just to breathe easy, breathe that sigh of relief, not needing to rely on that game too.
Yep. No team has ever won a TI starting in the lower bracket. And you mentioned earlier, records are meant to be broken. So we'll see if this could be a different look at the TI. But yeah, I mean, you've had 10 different iterations of it, and that's not a good track record to go off at least.
Success just looking to scout out a lot of this early movement. He's going to see the illusory orb, play around that web as much as he can. My eyes are going to be on XXS with how he chooses to build his items specifically this game, because the skill, the laning, it's always there. The vision that the Spiderlings provide, but I really do want to see they're going to look to try and address this Puck a little bit more. Honestly, even the Troll Warlord, right? If you're able to get the silence in on top of him from the Orchid that you might need for that extra control, they look to take him down without popping that Battle Trance.
Just charges on through. They're going to get full bounties to start on Spirit. Just let it be known, because I haven't picked up the fourth just yet. I do like Spirit's lineup. I think I really like the lane setups, and I think XXS is going to have a very difficult time into the Troll and the Crystal Maiden. And I think he's kind of the tempo setter that they need. Another really key hero is Siamese Cat on the Shadow Demon. He, like we mentioned, is a great way to be able to counter the Troll. Like, he's naturally a really tricky matchup for the Troll to play into. Your Tor feels it's going to be okay. And probably largely because of that is you have the Puck, Tiny, and Primal Beast that can get onto Siamese Cat. And one thing he prides himself on, one thing that he said time and time again, that his positioning is always on point. He just loves being able to be that nuisance against the enemy team, and he wants to hear them kind of praise. He gets pleasure out of how they think his positioning is just despicable in like a filthy good way. So
all right, let's not go overboard with the filth coming through here. Get PG
that's literally what he said. That's what he said in the interview. Okay. He said in a despicable way. Let's do this. He gets pleasure from how his opponents feel in a despicable way in regards to his positioning, warding, and saving teammates.
And this is turning into a 50 Shades of Grey cast right now.
What do you mean? Despicable filth? No, look, it's a...
No, maybe it's a Minions cast instead. Despicable me.
Bro, you're always taking it overboard. My God.
No, we're all good. I mean, he also has said that he's actually been a little bit vocal. There were a bunch of interviews that Aster did. Always a great chance to be able to hear from the Chinese teams. And he feels like their biggest strength is that they play as a collective. They have a positive winning attitude, not just a positive mental attitude, but better on top of that. They're already assuming that the win is going to come. As for what they needed to address, their weakness being that they tend to be a little bit impatient, not waiting for item timings, rushing onto high ground without that suitable information. Well, you're going to have that information this game with the Brood Mother being able to scout out with the Spiders once you get into the mid game. So we'll see. He's been able to show his prominence on these saving style supports, of course, with the Dazzle at multiple events. As to being able to take that clean 3-0 sweep against OG at ESL 1 Malaysia. Able to get the W there. They're looking to continue it at TI.
Well, once again, we see kind of a difference in the lane setup. The position 5 from Aster Siamese Cat is going to go down to the bottom lane, and they have Baboka playing with Monet on the Razor. Do we feel like this is just you want the Marcy to be paired with the Razor instead of the Shadow Demon? Is that solely the reason why?
I mean, it's a bit of both, right? We mentioned before how scary this CM troll lane is, and for good reason. Look what's happening to XXS.
He should not get a lot of farm at all. Like, I feel like if somehow XXS has 20 last hits and at a decent stage in this lane, then there's something has gone wrong for him.
Yeah, I mean, Siamese Cat, he bought out 2 sets of tangos to be able to begin with, so he wants to get aggressive in this lane. He wants to be hitting him instead.
This is something
That's
going
enormous.
Yutoric, this is what I mean. Like, something going wrong like that, like dying first and giving over first blood to Siamese Cat is definitely not a good recipe for success.
Especially giving him over farm. Of course, it's important for XXS to get the farm, but if you could just get into that boots to make yourself a little bit harder, be able to get those easy pickups on the backline, you get into the early Aether Lens, the early Aghanim Shard. It's going to enable Aster's draft so much.
Yeah, now Miposhka, he hasn't been able to block up the hard camp. So Siamese Cat should be able to find the pull. He can also protect it as well with the disruption if required. So this is now going to free up the equilibrium, which is, again, this bottom lane continuing to not be a good start at all.
He's going to consider it.
Indeed, 4 stacks in the last right click. So
Siamese Cat. And he's dragging Yatoro out of the lane, so he can't even get any last hits. The man is doing everything right now.
Good.
How much pleasure do you think you got out of that one?
A lot of pleasure. I think the pleasure meters are through the roof.
Gotta be careful though, CM, of course. Ends up dying. Not the greatest, but you come back with full mana. You're gonna be able to get those chains of spells off. Of course, the Crystal Nova, the Frostbite. Big combination for the laning stage, but it's got to be in a good spot for you actually confirm that kill. Side, a little bit of aggression onto Collapse. Shouldn't be in too much danger of dying right now. And what this also means with the lane pushing all the way back towards the Aster Tower is that you're going to be able to get off some of these stacks. Ancient Camp is, yeah, there we go, going to be claimed. Previously, the team that did this the best was the older iteration of Liquid. Tiger was back playing on them. Oh. And the best players screw up. He ends up TPing accidentally to the tower about 2 steps away. I wonder if they saw that. Might mean that they look to make a bit more of an aggressive rotation up top, perhaps.
Success.
He'll be fine.
Okay. Thought Miposhka was going to step in for the Frostbite as well, but not the case. So a lot of spamming being done, but 10 last hits the moment. We'll see how the other side lane's going. Claps. How many last hits? 15 last hits compared to the 15 as well from Monet. We saw prior, just whenever Static Link is used, that's when Mira is going to cover the retreat with the Avalanche as well. So it's just holding off the spells and try and just wait when asked to get aggressive.
Yeah, I think maybe the play is to poke onto Mira a little bit more, just because, again, it's an early game Tiny. You've got 0 armor. He's going to get the stun, nicely timed as well, to enable the escape. Of course, now, with the
Radiant structures are
5D.
fortified.
Even glyphing as well to try and enable the dive.
Yeah. But Monet, of course, with the sidekick, is able to stand his ground, able to smack him right back. This is the thing, like, he's got 3 mangoes available on Mira, so he knows that he always just needs to have this avalanche capability there. I was considering going for a dispose back underneath the tower. I think you don't need to full-on commit. I think you want to wait, not use the rebound, and just use the static link onto the Tiny, right? Because then you can get him to use his mana, and then you can look to actually converge with the secondary form of initiation coming through once the damage has already been stolen. So close along all of the groups. There's been some interesting results coming out today. Talon able to get that 2-0 against Entity, meaning it's going to come all the way down to the final series of the day, and interesting results coming up. Bottom lane. Bottom lane.
Siamese Cat. And Ishman's going to be able to hold Yutoro back. Might be able to free up XXS to get some right clicks out, but as soon as the whirling axis is used from Yutoro, instant disengage. So again, I mean, this is expected. You see, 26 to 7 defense, actually 20-1, so XXS was a little bit behind just before, but looks like he had a nice couple of previous waves.
You didn't expect to do well out of this lane though, right? But the fact that he is almost a full level ahead of Yatoro is a big benefit towards him. Wonder if even just with this lane pulling back a little bit more towards the tower, it's approaching that 6-minute mark, and we haven't really talked that much about mid. Toronto Tokyo is doing a great job so far against Ori. It's always about those little bit of skill things, constantly cancelling out the split earth, but he's going to be able to get a little bit of pressure into him before he's level 6. pushing him away from the lane, meaning that this potential rotation to come from Siamese Cat towards mid could be even more impactful if they catch them out without the spells available and to win out on the health and mana trade, then maybe Ori's enabled to go for a few kills elsewhere.
It's really going to come down to Toronto Tokyo if the orb's on cooldown, if they can kill him for this rune.
And is the luck there as well? Who's
Radiant's
gave in favor?
middle
Looks like it's Aster.
Invisibility!
Instantly. Well, they give him the chat wheel as well.
They do scout this out. They have the observer ward, and yep, Siamese Cat's going to deal with it. So I wonder if he'll continue here from Ori. You get the confirmation that at least Spirit know this is occurring. There's a sentry dropped as well from the poker. Do they TP an extra member down? Just a face check, nothing crazy.
I was considering with Toronto Tokyo would make a move up top, considering he just has the Dream Coil. Anytime you're playing into a tiny lane, very easy damage just with that toss back. But I think he realized that he needs to address this mid lane. Siamese Cat is going to be looking to push it out as much as possible, make sure that there's not some free damage and, more importantly, experience and net worth going underneath the tower. Yeah, we get another stack off, I would assume, on his way back. Fine. Feels like he might be a little bit too late. Sentry's just expired inside of the dire triangle, so he's going to be able to back off, and at least he'll get the stacks built up now at the 7-minute XXS.
There we go, beautifully done. Team Spirit finally able to bring down the Brood Mother. They've had some difficulties killing him, but haven't really had difficulties slowing down the net worth gain from the Brood. There's almost 1,000 difference between Yatoro and XXS, so this lane for Spirit definitely going how we're expecting.
Yeah, we were expecting it to go even better though, weren't we? Like just the crush, the potential first blood kill to give them even more of a lead. So it's going to even out a little bit, right? XXS is going to have that capability to be his level 6 shortly. He's got these double range creeps to play with. Then just open up the map a fair amount. So it's looking good for Spirit, but XXS will still be relatively satisfied.
I wonder when we're going to start to see the rotations from the position twos. We've already seen one move from Ori. Potentially this power rune could be a big reason why you could start to make a play. See if they get lucky again.
Three orbs being used already, and it's at night time, so if Toronto Tokyo gets caught out here, he's actually going to be closer and pick up the regen.
Lay down the post cup. Easy kill for them to find. Let's see if Toronto Tokyo is going to be able to get back. He needs to respect the edict damage.
They would have seen the regen, so they're not going to keep chasing him onto it. Just happy enough to be able to claim that kill for now. Mira looking to try and claim someone as he's looking to be a little bit greedy, but Siamese Cat with his positioning has to be a little bit careful, right? Because he's taken the long way around to ensure that he's able to get to that lane without the risk of dying. You might see that Mira placed that ward there. There's no real reason for a Tiny to be in that region, if not. Still, Shattered Demon, one of those position 4s, position 5s, whatever you want to call it, that is able to get a lot out of that early farm. And they're going to make a movement here. Refill the bottle, move up top, use that Great Disruption setup to be able to net a kill onto Collapse.
Simultaneously, bottom lane, they might be a little bit faster. Success, they got the Frostbite out, but Toronto Tokyo was too far away, and now it's top where the aggression's going to be. It's Collapse. Well, what it's just baiting. It's just a juicy razor, just hoping that Collapse steps a bit too far forward, and all of a sudden, 3 members of Aster popped out of the tree line and find an easy kill onto the Primal Beast.
No reactions coming through from Team Spirit, and that's a good thing for them. You know, you're able to sit Mira in this mid lane. Gets more of that experience that he vitally needs. He's going to get into the earlier Blink Dagger. A little bit of gold injection going to be coming Team Spirit's way regardless. See there, the Spider's just able to roam around, see the positioning of everyone. Might mean that he doesn't die quite so easily, but not if you pop an ultimate on Maposhka.
Yes, you did.
I looked over and I just see Maposhka freezing, feel it, his health just evaporate. Like great usage out of it. Put it on cooldown, get a kill, continue to free up the lane for Yatoro. Already one Nitrous components completed. On the river. As that coil's nicely done for Mira. Pops the coil, tossing back over towards Collapse. Siamese Cat is in a position to protect him for the moment, but Collapse is going to be able to set up for the charge, and Ori will go down. Team Spirit, can they get more out of this? So they're going to be eyeing up the Boca. The combination's up shortly from Mira. Maybe they feel like they don't have the damage. Instead, they're going to go for Siamese Cat. Toronto Tokyo needs one more right click. And in fact, Maposhka will yoink it from afar. The Crystal Maiden easily done.
claimed. What I really like about Maposhka as well, yeah, it was probably a bit more for the laning stage, but the fact that he's gone into the Frostbite, more maxing that one out. Again, addressing the fact that Leshraks these days don't like to go that early BKB. It's all about the Bloodstone. So if you can get that one maxed out, yes, you're going to be the prime target a lot of the time. You could just get that Frostbite in onto the Lesh when he's trying to run at you, then you take away a lot of that aggressive potential. So it's really all about playing around Monet a little bit more once he gets into that BKB. If they can get a few free kills here and there on Aster, they're going to be happy about it, and that's why they're going for these frequent smokes with Ori. Now they haven't been able to claim anything too much.
Success. They're starting to rotate. This is huge. If they can open up bottom for Aster to enable XXS, and this is where the smoke can help out there. Toronto Tokyo is going to be able to scout this out with the puck's positioning. They just want to beeline straight towards Maposhka. The jump in still, they don't have the damage required. Toronto Tokyo doing an incredible job with the silence just to prevent the follow-up spell casting.
I wonder if they stay down here as well. They've got the Siege Creep Wave, they've got a Leshrac with 3 points in the Diabolic Edict.
Radiant's top
of course, they've got all of those Spiderlings as well. They can scout around inside the trees, but the threat of the Dream Coil with a Tiny ready to come in, and even just speaking of the Tiny Mirror, he's pushed in the mid lane, so it forces some kind of movement to come out from Aster. Could this be the impatience we were talking about?
I'm going to defend this tree. We want to stick around. Maposhka again. Pretty decent damage before the freezing field is going to be cancelled. So finally they'll be able to get a squishy Crystal Maiden, and Toronto Tokyo will escape as well. So what's happening across the map for Team Spirit? Mid getting shoved out, Collapse is free farming and shoving out top as well simultaneously.
Try and catch Yatoro if he goes a little bit further into the lane. Might actually have revealed his position there.
Potentially baiting as well with Siamese Cat playing behind, but that's a coil expended, and 70 seconds without this potentially limits Team Spirit's capability to find kills across the map.
They've just made so much space for XXS now. This is his time to be able to recover some of that net worth. Nearly going into the Vlads, so going to enable him to just survive much easier in the lane. Spiderlings have a pretty good amount of magic resistance, so single illusory ult probably not going to be enough to clean him up. Needs to be the full combination.
A tithe to the impurities.
They're smoked up here, but I really don't feel like they're going to be able to accomplish anything with no freezing field, no dream coil for the next 35 seconds.
They're able to stop the TP here for the Tiny. So Ori's even going to look to help out as well. Just an extra little bit of damage from the Leshrac and buffing up his net worth as well. Now for the opposite side of the map, Toronto Tokyo and Maposhka in combination together will run into XXS. So a great movement out of Team Spirit as well, and they're going to be well and truly happy with the trade, getting a call for the support in Mirror's life.
I'm a little surprised that he went forward that aggressively. Maposhka was actually like mid-cast of the Frostbite to be able to lock Ori in before he was able to complete that TP to top, so could have gone even better for Team Spirit there with being able to get the call for support trade. Although, results in a Broodmother dying, and you're very happy with that on Team Spirit. That's the thing that's going to be scouting out this more passive style, right? You're still looking to farm on Collapse. He plays a more greedy style, but once he gets that BKB, he's ready to go.
Look at Maposhka's positioning. They see XXS farming. Now they've got all the tree line again with the freezing field. Team Spirit. What a statement they're putting onto XXS, really wanting to shut down this pivotal hero and player for Aster.
There's away so much of that scaling potential, that issues with the map situations, and they've even given a double damage over to Yatoro. So he's not going to use it for anything aggressive, but just speeds up the pace that he's able to farm, especially considering he is farmed as hell. Wraith, Band, Phase Boots, Magic Stick, and the full Battle Fury already. Bound, but every single time you've just got a support in place being able to stop you.
Dire's top tower is
maybe
under
now
attack.
Ori resigns himself to that fact. He says, all right, they don't have coil for the next little bit. They don't have
Radiant's
freezing
middle
field.
tower is
Let's
under
look to try
attack.
and get my farm. Let's look to get into the Bloodstone so that at least I'm not going to fall too far behind.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Maposhka might be in some trouble here. Does have Mirror to cover him if needed, and well, in fact, Aster are going to look to back up themselves. So T1 tower will go the way of Spirit. Their first T1 tower of the game. This might give a little bit of extra gold into Mirror as well. They'd love to complete the
Dire's
blink on the
middle tower
Tiny.
is under attack.
But the killers can help out. Charging inside
Got the
the
vision,
jungle
though.
they go. Protected with Baboka. We're going to bring an extra member as well, just in case the team fight does break out. Reinforcement comes through Siamese Cat, but he's not required.
It's just those little things like the movement speed, right? Maposhka just landing the Crystal Nova in addition to the Avalanche there, meaning that you don't have the movement speed to enable Baboka to get that jump. So some really good plays, team plays coming through from Team Spirit here. They should know that they've got vision
The arcane
down.
room.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to get there for Aster to try and pick it up for Lesh, but could be fast enough. Might smoke with it. Yeah, they're going to.
Question of what do you get in exchange. Baboka going to continue playing around this vision. Might be able to back off in time. Oh, it's cool.
They'll get it.
Do you have a jump? Maybe.
And that they will. Beautifully enough.
Radiant's
Pulverize is
middle
such
tower
a
is
short
under
cooldown that
attack.
it doesn't even feel like such a heavy investment.
For a little bit though, just make specs for XXS. Now
Yep.
nearly finishing up that Wraith Pact. He's got the Spiders taking over the bottom side. See the TP back, not needing to commit the Freezing Field or the Dream Coil to be able to claim that kill onto the Marcy means that, again, this roaming duo coming from Toronto, Tokyo and Maposhka punishing the lack of BKBs. But you've got one now on Monet, so let's see if they look to be a little bit more aggressive on Aster.
You might be waiting for this Bloodstone, which you just need the recipe for the Lesh, and then the Wraith Pact is now coming out of the core as well. So these are 3 big individual items for the cores on Dire. Once they get these picked up, you are definitely ready to take a team fight. It's probably going to occur around mid. Love to get an objective off the back of a one skirmish.
Top side. Using the Pulverize up here, but again, he was able to get the status set off first on Monet, so the damage from the Trample is going to be negligible. We go for XXS again. That should surely reveal the fact that they've got the vision down here now, and they've got a movement coming through from 3 Aster members.
Radiant are
Even picking up
scanning.
Maposhka would result in a lot of extra map control to be able to provide XXS the freedom to know that he can't be picked off just by 2 heroes.
And now it even opens up the supports kind of as well. Siamese Cat can potentially drop a ward nearby. Can do it
Dire's middle
fast
tower
enough
is
under the
under
cover of the
attack.
smoke. They won't be able to scout it
Dire's
out, but with the wraparound, they will see XXS. And they're now going to see the Shadow Demon pop out of smoke as well. So that would have been a big ward to play with. We just mentioned before that Aster, they're ready to fight and they want to fight around mid. With that ward, it would have enabled it, but unfortunately, CM will respawn and instantly get rid of it.
And I don't know if they can fight now for another minute. Collapse went for a really aggressive dive up top. Was having the Pulverize about 2 seconds left on cooldown and forced the BKB to be used by Monet. So he's already used the one that they can't look to play as a full 5 unit with all of their timings. They might consider it though. Playing around this mid lane,
Radiant's
it is still
middle
pretty
tower
easy to
has
take for
fallen.
Dire, especially a Leshrac, when you've got this control.
Dire's top
The
tower
Observer
is
Ward
under
giving all of the
attack.
vision for anyone that's looking to try and make a flanking move from the right-hand side.
Dire's
We
bottom tower is
concerned
under
though with
attack.
how much farm Yatoro's getting because he's been uncontested this game. Top of the net worth, almost BKB completed.
Little concerned, to be fair, but again, you have been able to not die too many times on Siamese Cat, just the 1 death so far, and so he hasn't gone into the Aether Lens first. A lot of the time, you just get double value out of the Arcane Boots. Who they found?
Another rich Siamese Cat. Solo kill for Toronto, Tokyo. Should be able to... Oh, he's not even going to be able to find it. All right, up to top now. We go by the outpost. Jumping. Up to Collapse, but Mirror with the blink reveal as well. They're decent Avalanche to be able to prevent the follow-up. It looks like they'll just sacrifice Mirror's life. So a 1-for-1 in the end across the map. Finally does finish his food is Toronto, Tokyo.
And they have pinged about 3 different times that they've got vision on this bottom side of the map, and just as they're going to be ready to deward it, it's about to expire. They actually would have seen that they've got the Demonic Cleanse now available on Aster. That the Frostbite was instantly dispelled, but Caster Curse coming through. I just praise Siamese Cat for not getting caught and instantly gets jumped and coiled. But it's still really vital, right? Remember what it can get rid of. It can get rid of the slows. It can get rid of the roots. It means that you are scared of this Troll Warlord, but maybe not as much as you used to be.
Run, Rabushka!
Dire's bottom tower is under
Mirror
attack.
wants the gold. Oh no, the double stun! And they're going to be able to jump instantly to follow up. Great
want
play
more.
from Baboka and that collapse in the tree line. That's so much not difficult kill.
Are they going to consider Roche here?
Looks like there might be.
Yeah. All these spiders, all these auras, and a sidekick as well.
Dire's middle tower is
I
under
don't know if
attack.
they can. Puck should be able to slow it down.
What's the vision look like right now for Aster? It's pretty lacking outside of those spiderlings.
They're gonna go make this play. You got BKB on collapse. I don't think you're too worried about this. They're starting to respawn as well from Spirit.
Gonna back off. This is good. Not falling under that impatience issue. Go
Dire's
for that full
bottom tower
wraparound,
is
but
under
with the
attack.
vision given by the illusory ult, they'll know that they're not inside the pit. So how's your positioning? It's pretty good so far by Team Spirit.
Tries to time the stun, but Toronto Tokyo with a blink out to the left side. Here is in a position as well to try and jump in if he finds an opening, but Aster, they're gonna back off of his team. Roche is still relatively low. Let's see if they want to try and claim this. It's a scary fight for Dire.
Yeah, but they have no vision right now on Spirit, so it's gonna need to be a ballsy dive by Collapse.
And the entire Collapse gonna attempt to, but it'll be too late. Here still gets an incredible avalanche with a vault as well. They're all grouped up on Aster. They haven't died just yet. Torrents with the BKB, he's gonna be okay, along with Ori thanks to the Bloodstone, but they want to try and call the retreat. The grenade will just TP out directly in their face, but unfortunately for Ori, he will not have the same fate. And now it's time for Spirit to clean up. Be able to chase down XXS to the south. Collapse will find a freebie. Under the back over to the left track they go, but oh no, can they even kill Ori? They might not be able to. Mira's stuck on the higher ground now. He's finally going to be able to jump down to help out as well. The damage has been dealt. They don't have an answer to the left track, especially with the Shadow Demon playing behind Ori.
Oh, who's baiting who? That entire fight was just the position fours wanting to be in the position to get that extra kill. Mira playing on the back line as soon as the Marcy makes the jump, but yeah, Leshrak with 2 lives, it's very, very hard to be able to have the damage to go through that one, especially when you're committing the battle trance like your Toro had to. Couldn't have asked for too much of a better initiation, if not for maybe 2 seconds earlier. That could have been a very different fight for Spirit if they were the ones that had the second life.
What have we here?
So all 3 cores at the top of the network are Team Spirit. Do feel like there's going to be a little bit of an issue going into the super late game, even with the Troll Warlord going against the Razor.
Still caught out for a couple of seconds here. Oh, beautifully done from Baboka. Just tosses Collapse out of range, so he wasn't able to play with the Pulverize.
Even just the
We'll
little
step out.
things like stepping forward a couple of seconds, making them think that maybe they have backup coming, causes the full-on retreat out of both Collapse and Mira. Great plays again coming out from these Aster supports. You gotta find them. You gotta take them out. They do so much to enable the cause. It makes them feel like they've got a lot more net worth than they do. It feels like Ori has top net worth right now, even though he's sitting 5th just because of the demonic cleanse, because of the disseminate now, basically acting like a dispersion from Spectre that a Shadow Demon could just give to anyone.
It's going to be a lot easier to position as well for the Shadow Demon with just a Lesh, Marcy, Razor being in the middle of the fight, XXS creating chaos as well, and you potentially, depending on the micro, XXS can also scout out whenever Spirit are trying to wrap on the Shadow Demon, so it is not going to be easy to bring down Siamese Cat at all.
Nearly into the pipe as well, so that's going to provide a lot of additional help for all the Spiderlings against this magic damage. Again, once those BKBs start to come out, it's a really, really good situation for Aster, and they've got one completed on Leshrak. Maybe this is the time.
Dire's top tower.
It kind of feels like at the moment Team Spirit are very off the back of just trying to blow someone up in a combo. I don't know if they're going to be able to with how XXS is itemizing.
Oh, he's coming up top here. Gonna use the glyph for it with the haste. Maybe they feel like they can catch. Is that reveal?
EKB instantly neglects the use of the coil, and Ori have no trouble about catching up to Mira. We'll give enough time for the rest of Spirit to get out. Perhaps we'll use his free time as well to shove out mid, and also bottom's getting addressed from Yotoro.
Be a very nice Skadi pickup for Yotoro once he gets it against these honestly, even the Broodmother, right? Just slowing down the pace that you're able to retreat back into the trees is going to be such a useful tool. But again, against the heal coming through from the Shadow Demon, the lifesteal from the sidekick, of course, 2 ranged cores in the Lesh and the Razor, they're going to suffer heavily from the effects.
They are indeed. Still having a lot of difficulties with dealing with Toronto Tokyo. Potentially that's where the item after the BKB can come out from XXS.
And Ori,
Imagine it'll...
he's going into the Scythe of
What's he
Ice.
got? Okay, beautiful, beautiful. That's a great item. Because I was going to say maybe XXS goes Hex after the BKB, but we're going to have it coming out even faster thanks to the Leshrac.
Bar being prioritized over to him. XXS plays
Locked onto Yatoro. They need a way to separate the two.
Yeah, but
It's just...
all the boys there. He's a little bit scared playing on his own. The rotations given out by the rest of the team.
Dire are scanning.
It's just a question of how can you continue to kite the Razor in these fights, because Monet is just going to go directly to wherever Yatoro is positioning. This will now come down to kind of the support's itemization. The protector's collapse. He found the opening. He's onto the Shadow Demon. Right back will help mitigate a lot of the damage for the rest of Team Spirit nearby. 21 to 3. Yatoro will look to enter as well. Now with the battle trend, not the playing damage to Ori at the moment. It looks like Aster are going to be okay to turn this one back around. Up to the northern side, and Yatoro finally able to deal with that success. But Swinner stops him in his tracks, and they don't have the damage. Look at him dance, left, right, and center. Success stays alive, and now he can get the finishing blow. And Toronto Tokyo just lives out to the right, a waning rift to separate himself from the Marcy. Such a messy fight, but it looks like at least 2 members of Spirit will live.
Yeah, that was the demonic cleanse, man. He did it. He was able to get off the disruption save for himself, realizing how important it is on Siamese Cat just to get off those couple of spells. Uses them onto the Leshrac, even though he dies instantly after. He just has complete free reign to run around these team fights with 0 threat of dying on Ori.
And again, it's another fight where Spirit get like 3-man Avos, Silent, and Coil, and they just can't do enough with it.
The Wraith Pack, the pipe, it's enough, and well, they found another pick-off here. It's just after a support in Mirror. Still a valuable kill. All of these, and I didn't mention as well, the good old Ice Frog, level 15 on the Razor. Extra damage bonus relative to what the talent actually says. Bonus 40 on top of that, so it is 10 static link damage still instead of the 5. Right? Still though,
Thank you, Ice
really
Frog.
in the balance, isn't it? 5 to 45 says the win probability, and well, I believe it. This really could go either way, and it's going to depend on can you get the right initiation on
Radiant's
both teams.
bottom
This time
tower
around, they
is
got the
under
good
attack.
one on Team Spirit,
Radiant structures are
but the
fortified.
auras were nearby. The pipe, the Wraith Pact, just not enough damage yet coming through on Team Spirit.
Yeah, this is the mid-game timing you were speaking about though for Astar. Like, it just doesn't seem like Spirit can fight at the moment. The initiations again have been pretty solid, honestly, but they need items. You need a way to kite the Razor, and you need more items on your Toro for the damage, and it's going to take quite some time now. I think they need to avoid 5v5s.
Dire's
I
top
think they
tower
consider
is
it
under
very,
attack.
very soon, though. Oh, Toronto Tokyo, he's going into 4. Again, though, they don't have that instant lockdown for him. That's the one issue that they've got right now, so
Dire's
they
top
might
tower
actually have
has
this
fallen.
small window on Team Spirit to be able to make a move in a very short time. 450 gold away from the Skadi. Or Tokyo? No worry, TP2.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But so what I was saying was they've almost got the Skadi on Toronto Tokyo, and
Radiant are scanning.
what else was there? I saw a 4-star as well, I believe, just freshly picked up by Mira. So that's going to allow you to create some space away from the Pulse Nova, from the Razor, even just allow the Marcy not necessarily to be able to catch you. So that's going to be some big timings before the Scythe of Vice is available for Ori. Even though even more damage coming through from the Pulse Nova. A lot of the time, people prior to this Bloodstone meta, you weren't able to get the 3 points just because your mana pool couldn't sustain it. You went a bit more into the stats beforehand, but now it's just such a key timing for you that you can afford to.
It's a nice item swap up as well for Monet, even though he's kind of playing as the position 1. He's shied away from the Satanic and going into the Helbert instead, so really trying to put a lot of emphasis on slowing down Yatoro's game.
Playing up top here. The axe is off though. They're looking to go for that line.
Charging in.
Yeah, I mean,
They
it's
see the
like a
nice
posture.
freebies. Oh, they cancel the stun! Oh, they cancel the stun on the troll! Oh, no. Yatoro gets the battle chance off. It'll be to no avail. Only delaying the inevitable. As what a big pick off for Aster.
Yeah, it's the fresh pickup of the Skadi, but it's not going to mean anything. Even the creep wave pushed all the way in, so that TP doesn't get off because of a great stun coming through from Aster.
Look at them even glyphing the wave as well. Mirror cutting mid, Toronto Tokyo cutting bottom.
Radiant's top tower
Wanting to
is
try
under
and
attack.
stall out the shenanigans that a Spirit are up to. They might consider high ground.
I think they would. I mean,
Radiant's
again,
top
you've
tower
already
is
given up your
falling.
tier 2 bottom, so you couldn't afford to use that that glyph there. And even if they pop it now, you've got some Spiderlets to play around. So Toronto Tokyo making sure to put his life on the line to be able to deal with that creep wave. So nice preservation of their glyph coming through, even keeping a little bit more of the harassment through. But has to be careful soon. He's going to have a look at some of these items being picked up by Ori in particular. The ultimate orb, of course, the extra stats to enable him in the team fights, but it might lead them to understand that that's what's coming. A bit more careful on the puck, really be on the money. Dealing with this mid lane. Connect through with a smoke afterwards, one would assume. Get the glimpse onto Collapse there as a full rotation comes back. 5-man from Spirit coming through. Have everything available on Aster. Might just see that Ori's a little bit separated.
Pick off if they can find it, but Ori's going to back off to the tier 2. In fact, even TP closer to the team. Look at the read.
Yeah, the Spidey senses doesn't even necessarily need the spiders to be on Team Spirit. He's just able to get away, clump up around that high ground, realizing how important this next Roshan is. You know, it spawned as well because of the spiders. Illusory Orb, who can they get the jump onto? I think they'd be satisfied enough to just wait this one out on Aster.
Dire's middle
Need
tower is under
1,000
attack.
gold until you've got that. Also level 20, just to provide a little bit of that extra pulse.
Oh, they
over
got the
there.
ward advantage. They're going to see Toronto Tokyo. They're going to see Collapse as well. Not the easiest target to initiate.
Oh, yes, it
Take
is.
control of the burst
Dire's middle
potential.
tower is under attack.
Oh my, Ori Baboka, no hesitation, just moving to the middle. Getting rid of Collapse's lamp, and now they won't have the Primal Beast to hold this Roche.
But look at these spiders, just giving them everything that they need to know about Spirit's position, the power of information. They're happy to give up a little bit of gold just so that they can know that they're not going to be contested inside this pit. Mira doesn't want to let that happen.
Somehow, so got to be cautious about the position. It's a little bit low for the moment. Again, look at Siamese Cat as well, always playing far away from his team, making sure there's no opportunity for him to be caught out.
Broken though, 10 seconds left on Collapse being able to come back. So frequently able to use these illusory orbs with the extra
Gonna be able to get the Aegis and now Spirit, they have to get out. Mira, oh, just a couple seconds shy of being able to find the blink because Aster got to bring down another member.
Puck out!
Not too many targeting spells, so the Storm Surge isn't going to give amazing value out to Monet here, but there weren't too many better options, I would think. Yeah, the Insatiable Hunger, that's not really XXS's job. You know, it's to be prowling around, providing vision, making sure that his auras are always going to be available. Hates that with the neutral item that he's holding onto, the Blast Rig. He just wants to make sure that he's not dropping down too early into these team fights. Have some more timings coming out soon, though. I believe that's an AC nearly finished up for the Razor, just 8 mail short. Level 20 as well. Actually, he just gets it. So all of that extra movement speed amplified even further by the Broker. Able to get into that rebound. Multiple cores
they
being
have the
enabled by
Hex.
multiple supports. Yeah, they do.
Oh, it's going to catch Toronto Tokyo off guard. Daytime.
Senses, yeah. So again, they're okay with it. They would have loved the kill, but you're really going to allow this this Scythe device to come into effect once you get that
Dire's
Blink
top
Dagger
tower
on left.
is under
That is the time. If they don't make something happen with that, maybe I'm a little bit worried, but for Aster's sake, they'll rest easy knowing that they've got a good hold on this game right now.
At least in regards to
Radiant's
Toronto
middle
Tokyo, has his
tower is
aim
under
this
attack.
now completed. Pushka's just... No way he makes it. Okay, he made it. Very nice, quick TP. But yeah, of course, the big reason you went for this Hex is to address the puck, and Toronto Tokyo now has a way also to be able to address that with his own A on this, so this will continue to help out with the split pushing shenanigans that Spirit need to be on.
Honestly, anyone, right? Like, it doesn't even need to be the puck. Of course, you would love it
Yeah.
to, but just as good on the Troll Warlord, right? Doesn't have any saving supports right now. The only thing that they're going to have to be able to stop that is the Lotus Orb coming through from Collapse.
Okay, Okay, this is very interesting. Troll, he's going into a Blink Dagger next item. So again, we have seen Spirit get some incredible initiations, but maybe with this Blink, it's going to make it a little bit easier for Yatoro to get into the middle and have that follow-up damage to capitalize on Collapse's jump or even Toronto Tokyo's jump.
He just wants that goddamn Shadow Demon, man. He is doing so much to be able to stop him, right? The Blink Dagger, and I'm sure after that's probably going to come. Let's go on the Basher. I wouldn't have hated the Lincolns.
Easy kill for Ori. Lane board scouting up Mira's position, so still have Toronto Tokyo to continue cutting top. If he gets his Koro, this is huge. That's the Blink Dagger now. So you're just mentioning how important it is for Ori.
I mean, it's pretty important for them to defend the base as well. Probably going to need to use the buyback here on Mira with all of these spiders to tank up of the tower multi-hits. At least Toronto Tokyo is there to be able to protect it, and they actually use the aggressive whip as well, not wanting their siege creeps to go down for free.
So all time his cat's positioning. Ever so vital for them to be able to keep the cores alive.
Not just that, but also to stop the effectiveness of Toronto Tokyo. They have no ways to be able to stop the demonic purge from having an effect.
Radiant structures are
Effect's about to expire. Let's see if they want to do something with this now. Master, they're going to try and back up.
That's the refresh glyph, though, that they just ended up using. They've still got the Aegis for another minute 20. They're going to back off. They're going to respect it, realizing that they can hit their next timing. They can wait for the Blink Dagger to come up in about 2 minutes or so. Then with no glyphs left for the remainder of the game, if they were to continue up at this pace, they can look to close this one out with one more victorious team fight.
Keep in mind, Aster, all they need is one game victory here in this series, and they will secure upper bracket. Spirit need 2 wins. They need a 2-0 here.
To guarantee
Okay,
it. 1-1 is still possible. There's tiebreakers that could happen.
The ward on the lane, it's Epiboka's going to jump inside the base. Trying to bring down some of the supports. Won't have to follow up the moment. Amira, they might have an opening now. Oh, they don't get the toss to break the coil. Hex is on Toronto Tokyo, but the follow-up stuns are not going to be there. So Mira will be the only casualty. He does have a buyback if required, but the lanes are in an okay position.
Hitting up onto that level 20 as well. Actually going into the agility, okay. Maybe just wanting that bit of an extra armor bonus. I was thinking maybe the AoE Silken Bowler just to enable both the Razor and the Leshrac in a lot of these fights. But again, no glyphs, so we're going to use the remnants of this Aegis. Just 10 seconds left to be able to go in. Backing off, good. Posure coming through from Aster here, not wanting to give up the lead. Wanting to give them a chance with the tiny respawn to be able to potentially get that toss back into the base underneath the tier 4s without the supports there to be able to save.
Yeah, that kind of feels like the angle here, isn't it, for Spirit, and in particular high ground defense, like a coil into a toss to snap it and then maybe making a play off the back of that.
And it's gotten into the stage where for Boca, he's nearly level 18, so he's got a good amount of damage in his own right on this Marcy. Seconds away
Very
from
fun.
his BKB, level 15 as well for Siamese.
He's got a bash shot.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The 200 demonic purge damage. Oh, there's the Hex.
Hector's gonna be forced out. There's a win in its own right, though. 70-second cooldown with the Aeon Disc, so this now leaves Toronto Tokyo very vulnerable.
It's not that bad, though. I mean, he's holding on to the Octarine Core and the Quickening Charm, right? And you had to use the BKB
Radiant
for that.
are scanning.
Went for that aggressive. Oh, just on the Marcy. So not too bad. So yeah, maybe they do continue to go for the move. If it was used on Leshrac or Razor, it would have been a different story entirely.
Trying to see if there's any items here that can really turn this fight around for Spirit. Potentially the Lotus Orb onto Yatoro could be really nice for the Static Link, just to at least mitigate it, because that's definitely the job from Monet. Just trying to lock onto the troll and zap away as much damage as possible.
Yeah. Already just got the Timeless Relic, so like trying to stop a lot of this damage coming through. It's just going to amp you up in every way. Mana Burn not going to be as effective because of that Bloodstone active. The amount of damage that you're just able to output. I don't want to say they're playing scared, but they're playing conservative right now on Aster. They're not wanting to give this one up again, just wanting to play off the back of a singular pickoff because Team Spirit, they need to leave the base at some point. Pretty healthy in the buyback department right now for Aster.
Are you chilling right now? Just continuing to slowly grow the net worth lead. Maybe waiting for some power runes. Invis probably not going to help out too drastically, but We've even got some neutral items to try and farm off as well, and Spirit, they won't have this capability to get outside the map and potentially find a big tier 4 item to help out. Another Hex as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, XXS has it now.
My question is, can Toronto Tokyo carry this game? If he's able to dodge out the Hexes, use that overwhelming blink that he's nearly farmed up to get it onto the back lines, shut down the Shadow Demon, they've got a chance. And oh, they're going to go for the kill onto him. He's back here, just being able to buy that overwhelming blink, and Ori won't be able to catch him unless he shows on the lane one more time. You have to get back to base. It's that close, man.
This is okay. This is a decent spot now for Spirit. They've got a lane shoved out, and they see Ori away from the team. And Siamese can as well. That's priority number 1. They've got a sentry nearby as well. So the camp's not going to really help it out too much, but the benefit will hold it back to the lane. So can control Utora, dealing with the static link, but look at the damage coming through with the battle trance. Utora's going to try and stand toe to toe from Monet. So he have to right clicks the Hex falling through, and they just rip apart the troll. As soon as Ori shows up, Spirit need to split away. They need to cut their losses. However, they might not be so fortunate as Collapse will get some distance thanks to the avalanche. Also back up shortly as well. The Spirit coming from Ori is on point. No escape for the Dino. Collapse, a slow and painful death. They'll make him work for it in the end, but Ori beyond godlike on the Lesh.
Instantly though, Team Spirit, they went for the lane shove. Still top lane in a really healthy spot right now. For Aster, they've got ways to be able to rejoin this as well with the Boots of Travel on the left track. Instantly go to this double siege creep wave. Actually go for an aggressive jump too.
Radiant structures
Able to get
are
back in time
fortified.
there. I think this might be it. They don't have ways to be able to
Radiant's
stop the push.
top
No
tower is
buyback
under attack.
from the Troll or Primal Beast. Resulting at
Radiant's
least a
top
couple
tower
lanes of
is
racks.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Even more diabolic heating explosions as
Radiant's
well.
top
Ori just hitting up onto his
has
level
fallen.
25 and still paying respect through to Team Spirit. This is a team that knows that they are just one game away from that upper bracket berth.
I'll keep saying it. No team has won TI starting the lower bracket. It is so goddamn important to have that second life. Imagine starting lower bracket where you have to go through a best of 1 and then 6 other series afterwards.
My only question is, who do you give the axe to? Because there's so many good players to be able to give it through to. Monet looks like he's going to be the main priority. Just more of that passage damage coming through. Would have been great for Ori with the Nihilism. Would have been great for Siamese Cat as well, just to be able to get 3 cleansers off.
Look at the read from either side. This is beautiful. Spirit have control, but Aster recognizes that they're in the middle. Here it comes. Instant use of the Mika Beaver. They're going to try and get the damage out here. Tora doing a lot of demolish on this one. On a search of the static link. There's just nothing they can do as Team Spirit once again on full retreat, but they will not escape as Aster surround them and bring them down. The finishing blow as Spirit have to tap out and win this game a loss for them. They will be moving down to the lower bracket, starting in the lower bracket, I should say, in Aster. They will now be up in the upper bracket. What a game 1 performance.
Man, Ori, the ball.